this is Nutty Rat Chick here with my Extreme Rules pay-per-view review. Overall, it was alright. It wasn't anything wow, but it wasn't anything horrific. There were no really bad matches, but there weren't any great ones either. Okay, though I do get a yay for myself, because out of the 7 matches I predicted, I got all 7 right, which is kind of bad when you think about it. The WWE is that easy to guess. They do love saying WWE is not predictable, and then they do put on pay-per-view like this. Okie dokie. Started off with Sheamus jumping Triple H backstage, which is a little segmenty thing. And then we had Miz show and coming down to the ring, doing this little promo thing about how they don't have enough competition and blah, 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 blah. So Miz is gobbing off as he normally does. And Teddy Long comes out and says, right, you're going to have a match against one person who is like this set team. And Miz started objecting to that. So he said, you want to keep talking, I'll add another team. And Miz kept going on, so he had another team after that. So it was a 3-gauntlet tag team. I actually quite like tag team wrestling generally, and having them put a little bit more emphasis on it is good in my books. So I probably rate this slightly higher than some people. I'm not going to rate the 3 individual mini matches. I'm just going to rate the tag team segment thing. The first one was Truth and Jomo, which was a DQ. The second one was MVP and Mark Henry, and he pinned MVP. And the third one was Hart Dynasty, and they won, which gives them the #1 contendership for a match on Raw. It would have made more sense if it was actually for the belts. It would have put more emphasis on it. But it was alright. I give the whole segment sort of 2.5 stars. It was okay to good. It wasn't expected. It was something a little bit different, and I quite liked that. I quite liked that it was something a little bit different, because bless them, WWE don't do very different very often. Right, first match actually on the main card, Rey Mysterio versus Punk. 3-star match, Punk won. It was alright, it was a good match. Like I said, there was nothing wow on this pay-per-view at all. It was an alright little match. I could probably go to 3.5 stars, but it was alright, but there wasn't anything brilliant. And you had like the Straight Edge Society interfering, and then they got kicked out. And then the guy who used to be in Eminem with Morrison apparently is the guy that was hiding under the ring because he was in a dark match. I don't know how true that is. I'm just passing on what I heard. He's now apparently part of the Straight Edge Society, and he distracted Ray to give Punk the win. It was alright. JTD versus Shad in the strap match. I am like there's like 3 of us that said that they were going to put JTG over purely because of the fact that if they wanted both of them as valid single stars, they couldn't bury JTG, and it would have buried him. So when JTG won, I was like, smoke. It was an alright match, 2-star, okay. The ending was relatively clever. It was alright. It wasn't offensive. There was nothing. But that's the whole thing with this pay-per-view. It was just inoffensive. Orton versus Swagger. Probably. Yeah, it was one of the better matches of the night. Maybe 3.2 to 5 stars, maybe, somewhere around there. It was a good enough match. We got a few nice little bits. Swagger won, which I wasn't really surprised at. Don't really like how he did it though. It was alright. Like I said, the whole thing was just alright. That was the thing about it. Triple H versus Sheamus. Triple H was all injured because he was jumped backstage. 2.5 stars. Sheamus won. Again, alright little match. Okay to good. Nothing wow. Michelle McCall versus Beth Phoenix. This actually made me smile. And this was a 2.5 star match. And it wasn't a 2.5 star for a Divas match. This was actually as good as the strap match, if not slightly better. Beth Phoenix won, which I was really chuffed about, because let's face it, she could snap Michelle McCall like a twig in real life. So I quite liked that. And I quite like that they've given it to the Glamazon, because she's quite probably the best female wrestler they have in. And if they brought in Awesome Kong versus Glamazon, yeah, we like the thought of that. Jericho versus Edge in the cage. 3.25 stars. I think it probably might be rated higher by some people, but I think a lot of people were comparing it to the Anderson Angle match, and it really didn't. It didn't meet up to that standard by a long way. It was alright. I mean, I like Jericho, I like Edge. It was done reasonably well. When it was given a good amount of time as well, it was alright. I said, yeah, 3.253, something around there. Nothing amazing. Batista versus Cena. Would have said 3 stars as just good, solid match. There was nothing amazing. There was quite a nice little attitude adjustment through a table. Spine buster through a table. It was alright. I quite liked the end though, so it got a 3.25. Purely because the end made me giggle. Tape his feet up. Last man standing, you can't win if you can't stand. I like that. I like clever. Clever is good. But it was kind of an up yours to Batista in a big way. It was sort of like, not only is this your last pay-per-view match, but we're going to make you look like an utter fool. So that was kind of, it was a bit sort of like, ooh, that's not good. That was a proper like to Batista, I think. But yeah, what do I rate it? Oh, I don't know, 6. See, the thing, it's hard to work out because no, it didn't have a 4-star match, but it didn't have a bad match on it. It didn't have anything on it that was as bad as it could have been. It was all okay at the very worst, and reasonably good at best. So I don't know, maybe go 7 out of 10. I wouldn't go out and buy it, but it's not something I'd be like, oh god, I'm never watching that again. But it's not something I'd choose to watch again. There isn't a single match I'd say go and watch this on the entire pay-per-view. If we were doing a battle between that and Lockdown, I was recommending people watch 2 matches on Lockdown.